Now, winning a frame can often be just like a sale. What do I mean by that? Well, the customer doesn't always say yes right off the bat. You do need to objection handle in sales, and to some effect, you need to be able to objection handle when it comes to winning your frame. Well, what do I mean? Well, the worst thing that you can ever be when you're dealing with a customer is what I call incongruent, right? You've got to remember, the worst frame that you can have is the idea of being a salesman or a saleswoman. If you're a salesman or a saleswoman in the customer's eyes, it doesn't matter how charming you are, how funny you are, how much you care about your product. No matter what you do, you will never shake the perception in the customer's eyes that their loss is your gain. In order to make a sale, you have to establish trust and you have to establish leadership. And you will not have it if you're incongruent. So customers know that. Customers will do what's called a congruence test. I call it a sales shield. Sometimes they might be a little bit upfront with you. They might be a little bit abrupt with you. They might do what's called a takeaway where they say, oh, I'm not sure this is for me. They're testing your indifference. They're testing your intention. They're seeing if you're desperate and you need the sale or you're genuinely there to help them. The key with congruence testing when a customer puts up their sales shield is you have to hold your ground. If you show any sign of weakness, the customer will walk all over you. So what's an example of a congruence test? Well, it can be right from the get-go where I go, hey, how are you? And they go, yeah, I'm good. Notice how they don't reciprocate and say, I'm good, how are you? Well, sometimes you can simply call them out on that. And rather than going, all right, so get started and be awkward about it, you can go, hey, how you doing? They go, yeah, I'm good. Awesome, man. Well, look, I'm fantastic, so we can meet in the middle. We can be awesome together, right? I know that sounds cheesy, but when you're dealing with a customer, you're drawing attention to their sales shield, which essentially nullifies it. It can be something simple as well, where they want to establish a frame that you're here to sell something. So they go, all right, mate, what are you selling? Let's get to it. What are you selling? Well, if you simply say, well, let me tell you about what I'm selling, their frame is going to win. So sometimes you have to divert that frame. So if they say, oh, what are you selling? Make a joke. You say, mate, here to have a good time, here to sell a good time. Or I can say, if you want to be a bit cheekier depending on your product, they can say, what are you selling? You go, stolen cars, you want one? Right? Again, very dependent on your industry, right? But being able to divert their attention and take that into a joke, you're going to be able to really establish your frame that you're here to help them and have a good time. Your frame is going to beat their frame. It's really important that when a customer tests you or says, look, I'm really not sure this is for me, don't go, oh, let me convince you otherwise. You say, look, I don't want to waste your time or my time if this isn't for you, but I really believe that this can help you based on what you've told me about your needs. Do you see the difference in the frame that you can control? So winning the frame isn't just about winning it at the start. Winning the frame is also about passing those congruence tests, which means you have to really mean what you're doing. That's why the best salespeople aren't your traditional idea of someone who is manipulative and conniving and nefarious. The best salespeople are the ones with the most integrity, because what sales really is helping a customer find their need and helping them solve that need. And if you can convey that that's who you are to a customer, you're going to be able to pass that sales shield and you will win every frame.